The race for the regular season title is getting tight, while one Hall of Famer moves on. And what does one player's family think when he goes far from home? Get a good vantage point. It's time for ECHL Week. As much focus as there is this time of year on the playoff race, the competition for the Brabham Cup, awarded to the ECHL's top regular season team, is also in full swing. The Alaska Aces, who are three-time defending Brabham Cup champs and have won that trophy 4 of the last 8 seasons, are leading the way this year. One factor that could work against the Aces in their attempt to win the Brabham Cup again: they end the season with 10 games on the road. Another Western Conference team, Ontario, is second overall in the league. The Reign look to be in great position to win their 3rd straight Pacific Division title. South Carolina, the only team to have won 3 Kelly Cup championships, continues to set the pace in the Eastern Conference. However, hot on the Stingrays' heels and a serious Brabham Cup contender are the Orlando Solar Bears. Despite having their league-best 11-game winning streak stopped by Kalamazoo, the Bears remain within striking distance of the frontrunners. One other team that deserves mention at this point in the race is defending Kelly Cup champion Reading. With 10 wins in their last 15 games, the Royals still have the Atlantic Division, Eastern Conference, and regular season trifecta as a legitimate goal. Because all teams are not playing the same number of games, the Brabham Cup will be awarded to the team with the best overall points percentage. Alaska is not just a success on the ice. It's a franchise that enjoys support from both the business community and lots of fans in and around Anchorage. Here's Terry Parks, the managing member of the Aces ownership group.
We've got a couple of big things going on next year. The building's going to get about a $10 million facelift in the next 2 years. New glass, new ice, new seats, outside and inside painted. And we got a scoreboard coming next year. We bought a scoreboard out of San Francisco. That'll be in for next season, so that's always exciting when you bring something up for the fans. We've got a great relationship with Calgary, and you know, that's what it takes in this league. You got to have the support of that NHL affiliate with Abbotsford and the number of players that go back and forth. That's key to us. There are 6 of us involved. We're all business guys, been here for a long time. And you don't get an opportunity to give back to your community very often, and this is what we've done. We bought it out of bankruptcy. You know, in a matter of 11 years in the ECHL, this is our 11th season in the ECHL. You know, we've won 2 championships, went to the finals in another one, and then finished. Well, you can see the banners on the wall. I mean, I think it says a lot for the ownership group, who are all local. Nobody's out of state. We were all sponsors before we were owners, so we bought it out of love for the game, not so much for the money that's in it for us.
One team has a new coach and a high-scoring featured game. Up next on ECHL Week.
Where have hundreds of NHL players gotten their professional starts? The ECHL. And where do you find out about the ECHL? ECHL Week. On television or online, ECHL Week is the only show that brings you everything that's happening league-wide. Every week, watch ECHL Week. If you were any closer to the action, you'd be in the lineup.
I say, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind. 'Cause I've got a smile on my face, and I've got 4 walls around me.
It's time now to take a look at movements and activities around the league. ECHL Hall of Famer Nick Vitucci has resigned as head coach of the Toledo Walleye, a job he held for almost 5 years. I have enjoyed my time coaching the Walleye. It has been extremely fulfilling to start a new team and to mentor young hockey players who have a passion for the game, but I feel that it's time for some new leadership and a new approach. This will always be a highlight in my career, Vitucci said. Walleye President Joe Napoli said, "Nick's decision to make this move now gives us the appropriate window to find a coaching replacement in time for recruiting and preparing for next season. I am happy to say that he will remain with the Walleye organization. His future role, which is yet to be finalized, will capitalize on his nearly 25 years of professional hockey experience." Walleye assistant Dan Watson will assume the head coaching position for the rest of the season. He has been with the Walleye since its inception. Said Watson, "Every coach who takes the lead comes in with a little different philosophy. I come from the defensive side. I want a strong defensive team that also plays fast." Idaho has traded defenseman Tyler Elbrecht to the Toledo Walleye in exchange for the ECHL rights to defenseman Russ Sienkiewicz. Sienkiewicz, shown here during his Gwinnett days, has split this season between Toledo and Texas, which owns his AHL rights. In 33 games at the ECHL level, Sienkiewicz had 17 points and 39 penalty minutes. He has also appeared in 8 games with Texas, where he scored his first AHL goal earlier this season. Elbrecht is in his first pro season out of Minnesota State Mankato. He has 1 goal this season and led Idaho with 10 fighting majors in 45 games at the time of the deal. The Colorado Eagles have acquired defenseman Braden Birch from the Florida Everblades, fulfilling the future considerations portion of their trade last November, which sent goaltender Trevor Cann to Florida. Birch, who played his college hockey at Cornell, started this year in Finland before moving to Florida, where he had 5 points in 25 games with the Everblades. The Alaska Aces have acquired right wing Alex Belzile from the Gwinnett Gladiators in exchange for the rights to goaltender Mark Guggenberger. Guggenberger, who was suspended by the Aces in November after he went to play with the Allen Americans in the Central Hockey League, has joined Gwinnett and won his first 2 games with the Gladiators. He had been 5-1 in 6 ECHL games with a 2.21 goals against average and a .903 save percentage with Alaska. Last season, Guggenberger was a key member of the Aces, winning 25 games and earning all ECHL second team honors. Belzile suited up in 3 games for Gwinnett this season while collecting 8 penalty minutes. He's been injured much of this season. He had 30 points in 40 games last season with Gwinnett as a rookie. The ECHL trade deadline is 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, March 13th. There's no drama about which teams will qualify for the playoffs in the Western Conference. They all make it. But the first round matchups, that's a different story. And of course, every team wants to get as high a seed as possible. While Las Vegas is pretty much locked into 8th, Bakersfield certainly has a chance to move higher in the standings. Let's check out a recent high-scoring tussle between the Condors and Wranglers. Here's Ian Tasso to describe the action on AmericaOneSports.com.
Skelly looking for the feed. Instead, it's Armstrong. Pulls up. Centering feed. They score! The Wranglers take a 1-0 lead. Just 26 seconds in. Now up against the wall. Pulled out in a backhand and a score. Spencer Bennett. A blind backhand shot, and we've got a 1-1 game. Little centering feed back door, but poked away, and the Wranglers will have numbers. Up ice, here comes Huseman. Over the blue line, cross ice feed, shooting is there, he scores again! 10:14 to go in the period, and Sean Skelly has put Las Vegas on top, 2-1. Rempel separates Neal from the puck, and instead it's Thurber. Centering feed for Neal, shot, and it's in. Bounces off the glove of Mitch O'Keefe and in, and the Condors have squared us up at 2. Tassoni comes careening in, has it, looking back door for Pokovich, shooting on the doorstep, Pokovich scores! Save made by Brossois, but Jeff Pokovich stuffed it home, and the Wranglers lead 3-2. As it's rocketed the length of the ice by Las Vegas. Armstrong giving chase, and here we go up against the wall. I believe Andrew Carroll is tied up with Adam Huxley in the near side wall, as Huxley gets a nice jab and then an overhand. Over the top of Andrew Carroll, wants no part of that fight. The two will be separated. Knocks it free. And it's Tassoni with some speed. One-on-one with Brossois. He scores! Matt Tassoni, short-handed. And the Wranglers take a 4-2 lead. Knackstead over the blue line. Bergdorfer shooting, and he scores. And it's a 4-3 game. As Huxley up against the wall. Carroll to the slot. Steffes. And it's Collins who scores. And we are all tied up at 4. We got an old-fashioned barn burner on our hands. Both teams scoring almost at will. Herring pokes it free. Shaber has it. 3, 2, and 1. Power play over. Wranglers not out of the woods, though. Centering feed to the slot, and Shaber scores. Even strength goal. And it gives the Condors now a 5-4 lead. 2:01 to go in the game. 33 seconds of power play time here for the Wranglers. They need a goal to tie us up. Collins the first man there, and he scores. An empty netter. Condors on by a pair. As a snapshot and tipped in, Robbie Smith makes it a 1-goal game with 36 seconds left on the clock, and there's life. 12 seconds to go. Centering feed for Parkovich, and he tips it just wide. 4 seconds. Centering feed in front, and Herring swings on the backhand, unable to grab it. And that's how this one will end.
We go behind the scenes with one player and his family. Straight ahead on ECHL Week.
Here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we have pep talkers standing by to get you motivated for your GED diploma. Get your GED Pep Talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Are you paying too much with your current payroll company? Are you concerned about how Obamacare could affect your business? If you're interested in a better, more cost-effective solution, Einstein HR is the answer. No more stressing out about Obamacare and the new regulations. No more worrying about being in compliance. No more overpriced payroll services. Let Einstein HR get you back to the business of doing business instead of spending needless hours and frustration taking care of details that add nothing to your bottom line. We provide a first-class payroll and HR services with superior customer service. Call Einstein HR today.
Hi, this is Sean Scabito of the Stockton Thunder, and you're watching ECHL Week.
Working your way up through the minor leagues can be one of the most challenging tasks for aspiring major league players. That task is even more difficult when you're doing it 6,500 miles away from your hometown in a foreign culture. But that's what Ludwig Blomstrand of the Kalamazoo Wings is doing. Although he's currently out of the lineup with an injury, Blomstrand, a 2011 fourth-round draft choice of the Vancouver Canucks, is in the middle of his first full pro season in North America. With 14 points in his first 31 games in the ECHL, the 21-year-old is on the same developmental path that many have skated on before, although he's come from much farther away than most. Earlier this season, we had a chance to talk to him and his family to find out more about their impressions of the ECHL experience.
Vancouver wanted me to come over and play, and it's a chance of my life, so I took it.
What do you think about watching your brother play as a professional ice hockey player, just in general?
I think it's wonderful to see him play. I want him to have fun, and that's what I see on the ice too, so yeah, it's wonderful.
I assume he enjoys it as well? Does he tell you about how much he likes it?
Yeah, he does. Every day on Skype, when we Skype from Sweden, so yes.
How did your son get interested in ice hockey?
He has always been interested in sports. He played bandy, we call it in Sweden, and ice hockey since he was 5 years old. And he's always playing something.
It must have been difficult for him, maybe even more difficult for you, when he decided to come play in the United States, in the ECHL. Talk about your thoughts when he said, "Mom, I'm going to go play in the United States."
Oh, I really don't want to. It's very far away, and I'm not so happy about it as a mother. But if he's glad, I must be glad.
As a brother and sister, did you ever talk about him wanting to come here to play professionally?
Yes, we did. Of course, I'm his big sister, so I didn't want him to move because it's very far from home. But I mean, this is his goal in life, and this is what he wants. So we were just supportive, and we wanted him to go if he wanted to go.
How about in growing up, the support or encouragement that your parents and your sister gave to you? Did they give you a lot of that, or were you pretty much said you were on your own thinking, I'm going to play hockey and that's all I'm going to do?
No, they're on my side all the time, my whole life. I moved to Stockholm when I was 16 years old. I moved from home, and my mom and dad was always there and took care of me, watched the games. Yeah.
Do you have a memory of him, one particular memory that stands out that you really remember when he was small, when you knew that he could be a pretty good hockey player?
I've never thought about it that way because it's so little chance to be a professional hockey player, so I have no idea that he could.
When your son decided that he was going to play professionally in the United States, what went through your mind? What were you thinking about?
I've always thought that it's his decision, and he can do what he wants to do. If he wants to play hockey here, it's okay for me.
Is there anything in particular you watch in his game? Do you sense that he's improving as he goes along, or you just watch the game in general?
No, I sense that he has improved a little bit in the physical games, but he should learn to play more the North American style. If it does, I think he's going to be a real good player.
How is it different watching a hockey game in the United States than it is in Sweden?
It's a smaller rink, so it's faster, and it's more battles on the ice.
The style of play is a little rougher, a little more physical. Does that make it more difficult when you're watching him play?
Absolutely. It's many fighters here. I don't like it. No.
They talked about the difference of playing here with the smaller rinks and that it's more physical. Do you like that style of play?
Yeah, I do. I'm a big kid, but I played in Sweden the whole my life, and that's the game I played in my life. So I have to learn to play here, and it's a competition for me as a person, and I like it.
What's the best thing about playing in the ECHL? What have you found so far? What's really good? What do you really enjoy about playing in this league?
It's much tougher. You have to be alert all the time. You have to have your heads up, and that's the biggest thing, I think.
The little ones show their speed. That's coming up on ECHL Week.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
stars shine in Orlando in January of 2015 when the Solar Bears take on the ECHL All-Stars at the Amway Center, presented by Visit Orlando. Visit OrlandoSolarBearsHockey.com for more information.
The logjam in the Eastern Conference playoff race continues, and that leads to some great games. Case in point is this week's featured match. About 8,200 people were in the Memorial Coliseum to watch their Fort Wayne Komets do battle with Greenville. Here are Bob Chase and Robbie Irons with the call on WoWo Radio.
Back was Miller, pushed off the play. Oh, front of the net, and Marino was there. Look for a shot. Score! Somebody got it in front of the net and put it right up under the crossbar.
I don't know if it hit the defenseman for Greenville or what, but it looked like it did. Hartman got the puck to the point.
Now down in the corner, still has a piece of it, and Carter gets decked from behind on the play. Here's Marino with it. And I mean, what? Now, is that a penalty?
Well, he twisted him over pretty good.
I'll tell you. I mean, it is really, now the next guy charges in the corner and knocks the living daylights out of Willette.
That's a pretty good angle there.
Miller back into the faceoff for Fort Wayne against Cameron. Cameron picks this one off at the point. Look out! It hit somebody in front of the net, I think our own defenseman.
Yeah, about two guys that hit going in.
Yeah.
So Miller took the draw and they lost it.
And that's what happened there. Look out across. You lose your zone one time and one bad pass, and you got a problem. And now the penalty call. OJ got decked hard. Off behind the net. Kept at the line. Komets have it back. Here is Sadlowski. All the way up on the point, right side shot. Ooh! The goaltender just jumped up and knocked it down. All right, they lose the face-off again. Marino goes in, battles for it, sends it behind the net. Right out front, and they score on the backhander.
Yeah, they got the man in front.
Cop it up in the zone. Bingo, and the goal will go to Nichols.
Yeah, we had one defenseman in the corner, one defenseman behind the net. Nobody picked up the man in front of the net.
Up by the Komets on the defense.
All even.
Look out behind the net. That puck's flying around like a loose bullet. Here they come. Back up ice. Komets for it again. Here's a drive from the point. Nice save, Makarov. It was getting pretty wild down there. It's a good thing he finally grabbed it. A little bang going on there, right? Score!
In front.
It was Sadlowski in front of the net from Miller.
Yeah, they got it in.
They poked the rebound home. Makarov had made the original save.
Yeah, well, they ended up a 4-on-1 is what they ended up. Two Komet players collided inside the blue line down the other end, and all of a sudden they turn around. They come right back down the ice.
Half wall. Here's another one. Coyle fires.
Rebound
at the goal mouth. Couldn't finish the play.
Just couldn't get the bounce on it.
Time. Chasing it down Coyle. 5 seconds left. Coyle back up the middle. Bad pass into the zone. That takes care of the game. It is final 3-2 Greenville.
The ECHL prides itself on being a developmental league. During an intermission of a recent game in Colorado, the Eagles did their part by sponsoring their annual race for the little ones, taking this developmental aspect to the extreme. Now, with all of the excitement and action that only toddlers can exhibit, here are the two heats of this year's Diaper Derby. We'll wrap up today's show by reminding you that we're now on Twitter with real-time coverage of selected games plus trivia contests with prizes. And of course, you can contact us anytime on Facebook or through email. Thanks for watching. Until next time, make it a good week. Make it an ECHL week.